Hello and welcome back. Before I begin, I'd like to give a big thank you to Deborah's Book Cafe and Tony F0712, who are my two latest subscribers. Thank you both so very much. I really appreciate your taking the time. And now, on with the haul. This is a Hopkins off week, so this is going to be a little bit short and sweet. From University of Baltimore, I got The Girl Who Played with Fire, which is the latest in the, or I'm sorry, it's the second in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy. You may recall from one of my earlier hauls when I had watched The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I thought it was pretty enjoyable and kept moving at a good pace, but I had some objections to it because I felt like it was rather hypocritically exploitative. And in this one, there was a little bit of that, but honestly my biggest objection to it was I just found it really boring and not really terribly convoluted, but just sort of drawn out and a lot of stuff going on that didn't really wind up seeming to amount to much. And that may just be the sort of second part in a trilogy blues, and maybe the third one is better. But I can't honestly say I would recommend this. Then from Stevenson University Library, I got the first two volumes of Mine Eyes Have Seen the Glory, Evangelism in America. This was a series made for TV. I don't think it was made for PBS. I'm not sure which channel it was made for. It looks very 80s, just the way the people are dressed and their hair and all that, but the copyright date on it is 1992. And it is basically, as it says, an exploration of evangelical Christianity in America. And I'm interested in theology and sort of the cultures that come up around religion. So I decided to give it a try. It's not exactly a groundbreaking documentary. I wouldn't say, oh wow, if you want to see one nonfiction film about religion, this would be it. But it was pretty enjoyable to watch. I am pretty theologically literate, so there wasn't a whole lot that I learned that was new, but it was just interesting seeing some of the primary footage. And from the Sights and Sounds department of the Enoch Pratt Free Library, I got Alan Dwan's Robin Hood, or as it says on the cover, Alan Dwan's epic production of Robin Hood. This is a silent version of Robin Hood that was made in 1922, starring Douglas Fairbanks Sr. And I enjoyed this, although if you're not a big silent film aficionado, there are some silent films that I would say, I don't care if you don't like silent films, you just have to see these films, they're essential. But this one, honestly, if you're not really into silent films, I doubt you would be into this, and I didn't think it was so amazing that I would urge a reluctant viewer to go out and see it. My, I guess, bone to pick with it was just that in the beginning especially, it's extremely intertitle heavy, and of course silent films have the intertitles because there's no talking, so they have to fill in the information somehow. But this one, the intertitles were just coming so thick and fast that it was almost like I might as well have been reading a book. But it, as I say, it was pretty good. You get some nice swashbuckling toward the end, although not so much at the beginning. And then I got Never on Sunday. This is a Greek film from 1960, or maybe 1959. Sorry, I'm not sure. Starring Melina Mercouri and directed by Jules Dassin, who was Melina Mercouri's husband at some point. I'm not sure if they were married during this filming or what. But this is yet another one of these delightful films in which the director casts his wife as a prostitute. You may have seen Nights of Cabiria, in which Fellini did that, and quite a few Jean-Luc Godard films. This one, it wasn't bad. I didn't think it was great. It's sort of Irma la Douce meets Zorba the Greek with a little bit of My Fair Lady thrown in. About an American intellectual who goes to Greece, meets a beautiful, fun-loving prostitute, tries to reform her, but discovers that she is just this wonderful free spirit, and he learns a bit about himself in the process as well. I think one of the things that disappointed me a little bit about this, and this is going to sound really shallow, but if you look at the cover, look at this vibrant color, and on the back you have this vibrant color. I turn on the movie, it turns out it's in black and white. And I have no problem with black and white films. I love black and white films, but just when you're expecting these gorgeous outfits in this full color, it was a little bit jarring. So not highly recommended, but I wouldn't really dissuade anybody from seeing it. And last but not least, I got this documentary, Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man. Leonard Cohen is a musician whose work has meant a lot to me over the years, although I'll admit I'm not a huge Leonard Cohen buff. I own precisely 2 of his albums. I have I'm Your Man and 10 New Songs. And I actually discovered him a few years ago, probably not even 10 years ago, I'm not sure exactly when it was, but in my late teens when I saw the video for First We Take Manhattan on VH1 Classic. So that just shows you, I'm not exactly an expert. But some of his songs have really meant a lot to me, and so I was eager to see this documentary. And it turns out it's really more about this tribute concert that was put on in Canada a few years ago. So you get a lot of musicians whose names I've heard, but whom I haven't really ever listened to before, doing what I honestly think are kind of inept covers of Leonard Cohen songs. But it's I'm not that far into it. I'm maybe not even half an hour into it, maybe 20 minutes in. So it might pick up, and there does appear to be a little bit of footage of him talking about his life. So who knows? We shall see. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me for my next video.